Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we are learning the very last page in Tractate Nedarim. We are on page 91, which discusses a very fascinating story in which a woman is secluded, is with a man. Now, this woman is married, and all of a sudden, the husband walks in. Then the man who was an adulterer, or allegedly was with this woman, he goes and hides behind a curtain by a door. And there was this food, cress, there, in which the husband apparently enjoyed eating. Now, the person who was hiding, because he didn't obviously want this husband to know that he was there, he saw a snake coming, and the snake started eating and biting the cress. Now, the problem isn't so much about feeding your pet snake, but snakes, at least those snakes, were very poisonous. And by eating this cress, now if a human being would afterwards eat it, they most certainly will die. So all of a sudden, this man who is in hiding sees the husband coming closer and closer to this food, to this cress. And he grabs it, and he's about to put it in his mouth. And all of a sudden he jumps out and says, "Don't eat it!" Because there was a snake that bit into this stuff. And if you eat it, you're going to die because it's poisonous. So in this, the Talmud wonders, what is the status of this man? Do we actually say that there was a forbidden relationship over here? So in this, interestingly enough, the Talmud says it must be that they actually did not commit adultery. Why? Because if this man, who didn't want to get caught, saw the husband about to eat something poisonous which would kill him, if in fact he was really guilty, he would not want to get caught. And therefore, he would have allowed him to eat the food and to be poisoned and to have died, as opposed to him being caught as he did. So the fact that he said what he did perhaps shows that he really is not guilty. And then on this, the Talmud says an unbelievable twist. It says that that is the reality. But one may think the opposite. One may think that actually this man actually is a guilty individual. So then why did he save his life? Why didn't he just let him die? And he said because this man, part of the pleasure of having relations is not just the physical pleasure, but also the guilty pleasure of knowing you're doing something wrong. So he actually would prefer that this husband would remain alive so that he would continue to be the sneaky person and engage in an adulterous relationship. And by doing that, it makes the relationship and the physical act all the more exciting. And the reason is that based on a verse in Proverbs. It says that stolen water is sweet. Now, water really has no taste, but if a person steals it, it's called sweet water because there is an additional enjoyment to being able to have something which really doesn't belong to you. And that's the idea. This man perhaps was doing this to keep him alive so that he in fact may really wish to have a continued illicit affair, which is more exciting than him just being with a woman who is a widow because her husband has now died. Which we see over here, the tremendous psyche of sin, that it's not just the pleasure that one wishes to pursue, but it's the notion of doing something which is wrong, and that pleasure of being able to take something which isn't yours, whether it's water or it's someone else's wife, that in itself enhances the sin. Of course, don't do it.